about the dream. It's about the nightmare. It's about the phenomenon. It's about Igno Swann. It's about the dreamer. And it's about the cherry pickers. Copyright 2022. Dave Fashenpour. West Melbourne, Florida. Chapter 1. Getting to sleep. It's been a busy day, and I really need to get some sleep, but I can't stop thinking about a book named Penetration. The author was Igno Swann, a psychic that could see remote places by clearing his mind and concentrating. Everyone that knew Igno said there was something special about him. In his book, he described a top-secret project investigating the surface of the moon. Igno was the first person to observe images on the surface of the moon. He was told that he would have to wait 10 years before he could tell anyone about what he saw. Igno waited those 10 years before writing Penetration in order to tell people what he had seen. But now, I cannot make myself stop thinking about what Igno saw on the moon. Igno Swann was the best remote viewer of all the psychics employed by the Stanford Research Institute, or SRI, in San Francisco. While we all have the capability to remote view, not many can concentrate long enough to project our consciousness to another location. Igno could remote view anywhere in the world with an accuracy of over 60%, which is close to perfect. Igno could focus on a set of longitude and latitude coordinates anywhere on Earth and could describe the objects or people at the location accurately most of the time. He received many contracts from the CIA as a part of the Cold War. They wanted Igno to spy on Russian weapon systems and find missing military aircraft and or missing people from his small isolation room in the SRI. A Department of Defense official once tested Igno and gave him the coordinates of the official's mountain cabin in North Carolina. Igno reported back that a top-secret radar facility was located at those coordinates. They all laughed at Igno and called him a phony. Wanting to be fair about his conclusion, the official drove into the Carolina mountains to the cabin. And after verifying the coordinates of his cabin, he noticed another driveway overgrown with vines and bushes near the cabin's driveway. Then he saw a partially hidden chain link fence with a posted sign that read "Stop. Authorized personnel only." Beyond the undergrowth, he could see a radar antenna, and behind the antenna he could make out a radar control facility. And when he reported back to Igno, Igno said, "I saw the mountain cabin, but the radar facility was more interesting." In Igno's book, he describes the mysterious Mr. Axelrod with two bodyguards referred to as the twins. Axelrod was an undercover agent from an unacknowledged program. His bodyguards did the dirty work, including driving Igno to an underground bunker. The twins never talked to Ingo. They just wrote him messages on a post-it note. Like when they wrote, quote, "We are going to place a hood over your head," unquote. Then they drove him through the streets of Washington, D.C. to meet Mr. Axelrod, 7 stories under the city. Entrance to the skyscraper and elevator had passwords, closed-circuit cameras, and separate keyed locks, not to mention the guards in full combat mode with AR-15s. Since arriving in D.C., Ingo was not allowed to say one word. Everything was via post-it notes. Even in the car, driving through the streets of D.C., there was no talking or notes. The reason for the silence had something to do with an invisible presence. A presence that could hear every word spoken, but for some unknown reason could not read the post-it notes being written to Ingo. It was revealing that an omnipotent power could hear everything, but could not read a simple post-it note. Mr. Axelrod met Ingo in the bunker and asked him if he would perform a highly unusual remote viewing for him. He told Ingo that he would receive a large sum of money, but that he could not tell anybody about what he was going to be doing. Ingo asked, "What do you want me to do?" And Axe said, "Remote view the far side of the moon." That had never been done before, and no one really thought it could be done. Inside Russia or China, no problem. Just give him the graphical coordinates, and Ingo would isolate himself in a sensory deprivation and concentrate. But the moon? Ingo agreed to give it a try. Axe gave him the coordinates of the moon's far side, using the latitudes and longitudes lines of the moon's geography. As strange as it sounds, Ingo described images of structures hidden within the craters. At first, it was just a faint green glow from the windows that got his attention. But as he got closer, Ingo could see the people inside those structures. Shockingly, he blurted out, "There's a large number of humans in that building, and they are naked." He could see they were all very busy using digging devices to dig into the wall of the crater. They all were very intensely digging. That is, until one of the diggers looked out the window at Ingo. Ingo froze, hoping that the person looking at him didn't really see him. Unfortunately, the looker must have yelled out to get the attention of the other diggers. Now they were all looking at Ingo, all moving toward the window to get a better look. He told Axe, "They can see me." And Axe said, "Get back here immediately, stop all activity, and halt the project." That was the termination of that mission. Ingo left the bunker the same way he came in. Now, to get some sleep, just relax. Forget about Ingo. Forget all about the mind-reading presence. It could be my imagination, but as I was drifting to sleep, I felt a presence. And then I heard a voice saying, "Hello?" And I wasn't sure if it was male or female. The voice had the deep, rich quality of a male, but the tenderness seemed female. This presence had no name, and I did not know what to call it. Deciding upon a salutation, caretaker seemed to fit the voice perfectly. May I call you caretaker? And then the voice said, yes, you may. Caretaker, why are you here? And what do you want? And caretaker said, let us start by explaining what I am. Okay. What are you? I am many, and I am one. I have always existed and know many things. I am like an energy wave without beginning or end. You may understand me better if you recall the term collective used in movies, where many life forms function as one presence. Are you God? No, I'm not God. I'm not even close to being a God. Too many weaknesses. Give me an example of your weaknesses. Well, I can speak to you and even read your mind, but I cannot be there with you. I can see an image of you, but if you were to write a word on a piece of paper, I would not be able to read what you wrote. Interesting. Can you hurt me? No, I'm not there with you. So you are safe from physical injury. But I could put some rather terrible thoughts in your mind. But I would not do that. I am a peaceful entity, roaming the universe, just doing what I must at the appointed time. Why here and why now? Have you been working for planet survival or for the planet's destruction? Have you been assisting less fortunate souls, or have you plotted against them? Are you planning for a long-term commitment on this land, your home? Or are your people planning on escaping this existence? Okay, those are real good questions. But what is your mission here on Earth? That's easily explained. I travel places in the universe that harbor interesting life forms. I look for termination indicators. Once I detect a planet that has the potential for self-destruction, I call in the cherry pickers. And the cherry pickers come to save the day. Have you called on the cherry pickers to come to Earth? Yes, I have. If you knew a fire would destroy animals in a rainforest, would you not call in a rescue team to select the best and brightest animals to save the day? You may even attempt to put out the forest fire. The cherry pickers are here on Earth and will, hopefully, save the day. Then what? Then they go to the next scheduled hotspot and will save the day. This is what they do. Travel the universe to save the day. Don't wake up. Don't wake up. Please don't wake up.